Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi zidni ilma. I hope and pray that you all are doing well and are in the best state of health and iman and are always in the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ameen. Today we will be discussing a few points from Surah Yusuf. We come across stories of different prophets in different surahs. Like for example, Musa alayhi salam's a few stories are mentioned in one surah and a few are mentioned in another surah. Same with Ibrahim alayhi salam or Adam alayhi salam. A few incidents here and there. But Surah Yusuf compiles the whole story of Yusuf alayhi salam in the order of its occurrences. And it is a complete story of Yusuf alayhi salam in the surah itself. Let us learn a little background of Yusuf alayhi salam's lineage, his family. Ibrahim alayhi salam had two sons, Ismail alayhi salam and Ishaq alayhi salam. From the family of Ishaq alayhi salam, we have Yaqub alayhi salam. Yaqub alayhi salam had 12 sons. Yusuf alayhi salam was the 11th son, and Binyamin was the 12th. Yaqub alayhi salam lived in Palestine with his family. In his childhood, Yusuf alayhi salam saw a dream and narrated it to his father Yaqub alayhi salam, that he saw the sun, the moon and 11 stars prostrating, that is doing sajda, to him. Yaqub alayhi salam knew the explanation of the dream, but told Yusuf alayhi salam not to discuss this with his brothers, as shaitan may trap them into jealousy. Yusuf alayhi salam's brothers were jealous of Yusuf alayhi salam because he was too dear to Yaqub alayhi salam. Being the youngest, it's natural. But they had jealousy towards him. So they took permission from their father to take Yusuf alayhi salam out for play. And they threw young Yusuf in a well and told Yaqub alayhi salam that a wolf ate him. To prove their statement, they gave Yaqub alayhi salam shirt of Yusuf alayhi salam, which was stained with blood. It was actually a sheep's blood. Yaqub alayhi salam could sense that they were lying, but still he kept quiet. Then a caravan that was heading towards Egypt passed by that well. They found Yusuf alayhi salam in the well. They took him along and sold him as a slave for a small amount. Aziz, a chief of Egypt, bought Yusuf alayhi salam and told his wife not to treat him as a slave, but will keep him as a son. Yusuf alayhi salam grew up into a very handsome young man. Aziz's wife started liking him and was trying to tempt him and chased him wickedly. But when she was confronted by Aziz, she put all the blame on Yusuf alayhi salam. Aziz knew that she was lying. Later, again, she plotted a plan against him and put him into jail. Yusuf alayhi salam thought that jail is better for him than this disgrace. When he was in jail, he met two people. They discussed their dreams with Yusuf alayhi salam. Yusuf alayhi salam explained them their dreams and said that one will die and the other will serve the king. Yusuf alayhi salam requested to the one who lived to inform the king about Yusuf alayhi salam's story. But after that man was released, he forgot. He forgot about Yusuf. Then once the king of Egypt had a strange dream of cows and corn, and asked people for its explanation. At that time, then, the person who was released from jail remembered Yusuf alayhi salam and went to Yusuf alayhi salam for the explanation of the king's dream. Yusuf alayhi salam told to store food before 7 years without rain. That is, for 7 years there won't be rain, so food had to be preserved. The king was very happy and wanted to reward Yusuf alayhi salam. Yusuf alayhi salam made the king get Aziz's wife to confess her sin before Yusuf alayhi salam was released from jail. Yusuf alayhi salam was released from jail with honor and dignity. The king made him the chief of grains. Due to drought in Palestine, Yusuf alayhi salam's brothers went to Egypt, not knowing that Yusuf alayhi salam was the chief of grain. They didn't recognize him. Yusuf alayhi salam told them to get their youngest brother Binyamin to receive the grains, or else they won't get the full share. They took permission from Yaqub alayhi salam. Though Yaqub alayhi salam was hesitant, he allowed them to take Binyamin with them. Then they brought Binyamin along with them. Yusuf alayhi salam wanted to keep Binyamin with him, so planned it by keeping a gold cup in Binyamin's bag and declared him a thief, so that Binyamin could stay with him. The brothers told Yusuf alayhi salam that their father was very old and will be very sad if son Binyamin doesn't return. Later, Yusuf alayhi salam revealed his identity and told them to bring Yaqub alayhi salam and the full family to Egypt. They all were shocked to know that Yusuf alayhi salam was the chief of grain. They all had planned for his destruction, but Allah raised the level of Yusuf alayhi salam. Yaqub alayhi salam and the whole family came to Egypt, and they all prostrated, did sujood in front of Yusuf alayhi salam, just like he saw once in his dream. 11 stars were his brothers. The sun and the moon were his parents. All did sajda before him. This is called sajda-e-ta'zeem. We need to know that this sajda was sajda-e-ta'zeem, which was allowed in Yaqub alayhi salam's Sharia, but it is not allowed in our Sharia. We can do sajda only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. May we all learn lessons from these stories of prophets and be steadfast in deen, even when we are tested by trials in our life. Ameen. Truth always wins. We need to have patience. Indeed. This is it for today. We shall meet again in another session with another surah soon, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.